Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. So I'm on to show a flip through of a journal that I've made as a guest creative design member for Tracie Fox for the month of November. I did choose two kits to use for it, and they were the notebook A Botanist and the notebook A Botanist Ephemera. So it's the ephemera that goes along with the journal pages. I also used some of Tracie's labels, why not? And they were the Nature Definition labels and Random Sciencey labels number 2, I think. So I did do a video on the kits before I cut them up. So if you want to see what they look like before I put them in here, I'll link that video down below. I'll also link Tracie's Etsy, which is Love Junk Journals, and her website, which is Tracie Fox Creative. Now, if you want to see her design team members, they're all listed on her website. So go and check them all out because they are amazing and very talented. And she also has a Facebook group, which is the Foxy Crafters, which is heaps of fun as well. Okay, let's get into this. So it's a beautiful cover. My daughter bought it ages ago. I was really jealous when I saw it, and she altered it and used it as a glue book. When she moved out, she didn't want it anymore, so she gave it to me. I was so excited. So I gutted it and I've used it for this. But I have kept all her glue book pages because she did an awesome job, and I'm going to make a journal with them in the future. So I've just used some fabric to tie it off, which I've used all the way through this journal. So it's a beautiful old cover, and I've just filled it up with 3 signatures, and I've sewn them in with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. That's held them in nice and sturdy. Inside cover is covered with the fabric, and I've left it overhang a bit so you see this little fringe from the outside, which is really nice. So I've used a lot of offcuts of the journal pages to make tuck spots and journaling cards in this. So this is a tuck spot that I've made with that. I've fussy cut a flower to put there. It's got one of the Nature Definition labels with herbaceous, which is fitting for this. So what I did was try and find information on the plants that were listed within the kits. There were a lot more than it looks like, and it was a lot of work actually, and I learnt heaps, so that was cool fun. But I tried to find flowers that were the same, or herbs that were the same as what is pictured, or ones that were within the same family, and the same with the information. So it's adds a bit of interest when you're going through it. So I have this stamp, which is from the Garden of, which I think is beautiful. So I stamped that onto an offcut of the kit, and I embossed it slightly, so it's quite glittery. It's really nice. And in the tuck spot, I've got one of the beautiful big tags from the ephemera kit, and on the back I've got a fussy cut of the same flower. And I've used end book page as pages within the journal and for embellishing as well. I've kept it really simple actually. I just used the same fabric the whole way through, end book pages, tea-dyed papers and botanical pages. So on this side, it's the journal page, and I printed them out twice so I could cut the little embellishment bits out of the second print and stick them onto the first one just to add some height. That enabled me to put some fabric behind the labels and to make some tuck spots. So this is a book spine that I had hanging around because I was gutting books, and the colour just matched perfectly, and it said Beyond the Hills, and I thought that was really cool, so I've just backed that with paper so it can be written on. That slips in there. And with the other side of the kit page, I made another tuck spot and a journal card. So there's just some information about the plant there. That slips in there. And as you can see, I've used the same fabric everywhere. Just fringed things with it. So, and again, I cut a second lot of the ephemera pieces out so that I can make this little flip up. And I've used a lot of sticky tape, which I coloured with alcohol ink on here. And some threads from the fabric as well. I've left quite a few blank pages, so lots of writing space and lots of area for the recipient to make it their own as well. I tend not to want to fill up every page. I want whoever gets it to be able to do that. So with the ephemera kit, you get heaps of these blank cards, which is really cool because you can customise them and do what you like with them. So what I did was dashed out to the garden, found what herbs I had in my garden and stuck them in some books to dry. So I've got some lavender here. I'm really surprised that it actually flattened that much. So that's good, worked out well. And I used some of my sticky on there as well. I just used matte medium to stick them down and seal over the top of them. So that sits in there with some of this paper, which I have a book of, and I'm not sure what paper it is. Might be straw paper or something, but it's really nice and I love the colour of it. This is a half of an envelope that I had here that was quite wrinkled. So I thought, well, if I stick stuff on it, you won't notice the wrinkles that much, and it's great to be able to use it up. So that just slips in there. Bit of fussy cut lavender there, out of a botanical book and one of Tracie's labels. And some more fussy cut lavender on some end book page. Beautiful botanical page, and that has some of the burnet, which is, it's listed here on one of the labels that was in the kit. There's Poterium, so of course I had to go looking that up. And I found some Poterium, it's burnet apparently, salad burnet, so I found information on that and some pictures of it. There's one there with a part of one of Tracie's labels, and I've just backed that onto some. I love using the pages that you get in books, the start and end pages that have blank spots. I rip them out of all the books that I got, and I use them a lot to back journaling cards and that. This one has a stamp on it from being cancelled from the library, so that slips into that tuck spot. Use lots of grid paper because the kit itself has the grid paper print on it, so I thought that would go nicely. There were a number of pockets in the ephemera kit as well, so with this one I've just put in the rest of the blank cards so that whoever receives it can do what they like with those. And it's a bit of receipt paper or something, vintage receipt paper. I've just put that in as some journaling space. And on this side I have a fussy cut of the bellflower, which is the picture on this beautiful card. And I found another picture of it in a vintage book, made a journaling card. Another beautiful label. The labels are great just to add some extra embellishment to things, so they don't look so plain, because I tend to embellish quite simply. I'm not very good at layering, so the labels help with that. So there's another beautiful picture of the bellflower. Just backed it onto some of the fabric. So this is a journal page on, is it ribes or ribes family, which includes your currants and gooseberries and that. So I had a few of them on this page, so I thought I'd put all the information in there. And then that's the other half of the journal page, which I've made a little tuck spot out of. And just made another journaling card out of a book page. So here we have, I think it's willow herb or French willow, the epilobium. And so I've made another tuck spot with offcuts from the kit. Another book page journaling card, one of the beautiful big tags that comes from the ephemera kit. I didn't do much with them. I had to try and not make it too bulky because I don't like real big alligator mouths. I think the owners should make them alligator mouths, not me. So this one was getting fat enough as it was. So that can be, I love the size of these because there's heaps of journaling space on the tags. Another beautiful book page, and I cut out the names and put them next to the numbers so that whoever gets it can actually see which herb is the one that it pertains to. It's another one of the gorgeous pockets, and I've fussy cut one of the flowers and stuck it on the front. And it's the same as whatever that is, Pinguicula grandiflora. I did know the common name, but I haven't got it offhand, so I'm not even going to try and remember. That's some end book page, which I really like the colour of, so I've put that in just as a writing spot. Lovely fussy cut of a barberry, information about it, which I've made a tuck spot out of, and some more information in a picture, which I've turned into a journaling card. So that just slips into that pocket, and behind, you've got to be careful with this, so behind my fussy cutting, like that will do. And then beautiful little card on the barberry, and I've just stuck some of this vintage note paper underneath. So I've added heaps of journaling space because it's not the biggest journal. So some more herbs from my garden, oregano. It just looks beautiful on there too. And I was able to cut out their names out of a vintage garden book as well. And I fussy cut a piece and made a pocket out of that to put it in. Beautiful kit page there. I love that one. Of the primula. And there are a couple of the little cards that had pictures of primula on too. So I used one. I made a tuck spot. Used one to slip in there. That's the other side of the journal page, and I made that into a nice tuck spot as well. And it has another fussy cut primula. And on the inside, I have this. It's 2 book pages, and it has the primula on the front, and then on the back it has the information out of the book. And then in the middle, I've made a journaling card. Another beautiful vintage picture. One of Tracie's labels again. And that's the kit page. I tried to use a lot of the offcuts because I did print it out twice, and the second one I printed out, I basically just cut little ephemera bits out of, so I had a lot of the background paper left over, so I used that a lot to make the journaling cards and tuck spots. That slips into there. Some ledger paper and book page. Another beautiful primula. And a fussy cut one there to put on the kit paper as a journaling spot. It's a little note paper. It must have been the first one and it ripped some of the binding up, but I like the colour and the look of that, so I thought I'd leave it as is. This is Toad Flax or Linaria. Beautiful little tag. Put some information on the back. And then here is some guest. It's like a guest album that I've got, and I took some of the paper out so that can be written on both sides. And then I've got a fussy cut to decorate the side there. So lots of writing space. I love this grid paper because it's almost the same as what's on the background of the kit. Then these were out of one of the journal pages. It had this little picture of a little slide. So I've cut that out twice. And fussy cut the little picture that was in the slide so that it just adds some depth there. And then I've used some acetate in the window as well and stuck that on. And then that's another piece that was on the journal page that I cut out and just used it for a little tuck, some vintage note paper. That's another piece from the journal page, so I really did hack it up. But I stuck that on as a tuck spot, and it has this picture of Nigella. That slips in there. And then this is a big tuck spot behind here, and it has this beautiful long tag that I made with another book page piece. If I'd thought of it, my mum has lavender mist in her garden everywhere. I could have dried some of that. I was really annoyed when I got all my dried herbs, and then I went to my mum's house and saw that she had that and went, no, I could have done that as well. That would have turned out beautiful. Maybe next time. So there's some of my rosemary. And I've used the sticky tape that I stained with the alcohol inks on there, and some fussy cut rosemary there. This is Nigella. No, it's not. It's Lilium because we just looked at the Nigella. So that's book page. Made a journaling card out of it. One of Tracie's labels. Used end book page to do this tuck spot. And just an offcut of some of my Botanical page, and put one of Tracie's filled labels in there. So that can either stay in there or that could be stuck elsewhere. Something else put in the tuck spot. Beautiful tag of the Lilium, and I've just stuck a bit of invoice paper behind there. So there's a lot of room for people to write on, but there's also room to stick more pictures or whatever in here as well. So a fussy cut of a Lilium. And with the information, I've made a little tuck spot with some more note paper. And that's another one of the beautiful journal pages. It's tea cream. I don't know how to say that. So a juga or something, groundwort, something like that. So I've just sewn around that and stuck it on and backed it with the fabric. That's made really nice start pages for each of my signatures, doing it like that. And then with the other half of the journal page, I cut out this embellishment piece and made it a flip up, and I put some information, germander it is, not groundwort, getting confused. Yeah, information of it there. And I made tuck spot here and a little tuck spot there, which I've put some more of this little paper in. It's just to show whoever gets it that there is a tuck spot there. And then I found, it took me forever to find information on this plant. This calls it the ground pine. So that's a big, beautiful journaling spot there. And book page again. This is, what is this again? Dragon's head. It's easier to say the common name, isn't it? So there's a picture of it there, and I thought that'd be good as a tuck spot to put the big tag in. Some more of my grid paper. Beautiful pocket again, and I've done a fussy cut of thyme on there, and there's some of my thyme out of my garden. Good to use it for something because I've got heaps of it growing. And then a book page on thyme there. It's a bit of room to write on there, and the information. I thought it adds a bit of interest if you've got sort of the information on the plants and that through it as well. Now with this journal page, I've made a flip up, so it can be written on underneath and written on the back of there as well. And I've also added a tuck spot here with some of this paper in it. And again, I double cut the label out so that I could stick it back down with some material behind it. So another nature definition label there, and some information on the Veronica. That's a page about the Veronica as well, or speedwell, whatever they call it. Some more there as an embellishment. Beautiful pictures there of it. And I didn't want the information that was on the back of that book page, so I've just covered with this invoice, vintage invoice sheet, which I really love. It wasn't quite long enough, so I've just used some fabric. Now I've got the lousewort, I think it is. So beautiful flowers though. So I made that into a tuck spot that holds some more paper. And then I have stuck some of the names next to the numbers of the plants that are the lousewort, so that whoever gets it is able to see which plants pertain to the name. Another one of the beautiful pockets, and this is Santolina. Now this is olive herb that I have in my garden, which is really tasty actually. It smells and tastes like olive, so you can have it in your salads or cook it. And then I found some information about some Santolina, which is also cotton lavender and that. Some of the plants were really hard to find information on because they must be quite old world plants, the ones in the kit, and so it's very hard to find that exact plant. Some more information about different Santolinas, and I made that a tuck spot, and I've got some of this vintage diary paper in there. And that can be written on both sides, so. Now we've got, on this page, you have all these diagrams of the, I don't know how to say these words, Orobanche condensata, which is lesser broom rape. Well, it's broom rape, one of them anyway. So I've been able to fussy cut some of that and put some more of the guest book in the tuck spot there. And then this is a flip out, which I've just sewn on with some fabric hinges. And then there is this paper clip. And under that are two of these tags. They're on the Senecio, which is, I will tell you in a minute. So I've made this into one of these little accordion booklets. So there's heaps of journaling space there on both sides. Funny thing was I had it all the right way around, and then when I stuck it down, I must have turned the inside paper around, so it actually doesn't open up the right way. When, you know, I'd want the first page to be here, but the first page is there. So, but oh well, these things happen. It still functions. So don't hold it against me. So another beautiful pocket to back it off with, and I get heaps of library cards falling out the books at work, so I was able to cut one of those down so it fit in and put one of Tracie's cool labels on there just to cover the book title. If it was a nice book title, I'd leave it on there, but it wasn't really, so I covered that over, and that worked out really well. So that slips in the little pocket. And then behind that, I've got another one of my book page pockets. So I've got pictures of the front of the Senechios, whatever they are, which are apparently ragwort or groundsel, one of them. So yeah, beautiful pictures. So information on the back, and then you can fit heaps in there, but I've just put a piece of vintage note paper. It just slips behind that little tuck spot. So that was heaps of fun. So I want to thank Tracie very much for giving me such a beautiful kit to work with and asking me to do a guest design team project. I really appreciate that. So do head on over and check out Tracie's Etsy if you're interested in those kits, or check out her other ones at Love Junk Journals, and her website and her Facebook group. I'll link them all down below. Take care of yourselves, be good, have some fun, and I will see you again soon. Bye.